Imagine this scene. Two armies locked in a tense standoff, separated by a valley. On one side, the frightened soldiers of Israel. On the other, the mighty Philistines. For 40 long days, a giant of a man over 9 feet tall strides out from the Philistine ranks. His name is Goliath. Clad in heavy bronze armor from head to toe, he carries a spear with a shaft as thick as a weaver's beam. His voice booms across the valley, a thunderous echo of mockery and defiance. He challenges the Israelites, taunting their king, their army, and their God. "Choose a man and let him come down to me," he roars. "If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us." Fear grips the Israelite camp. Not a single warrior, not even the bravest among them, dares to face this colossal champion. The morale of an entire nation crumbles with each passing day. Meanwhile, far from the battlefield, a young shepherd boy named David is tending his father's sheep. He's the youngest of 8 brothers, not a soldier, but a boy with a heart full of courage and faith. His father, Jesse, asks him to take some roasted grain and 10 loaves of bread to his 3 oldest brothers who are serving in the army. He also tells him to bring 10 cheeses for their commander and to see how his brothers are faring. So David rises early, leaves the flock with a keeper, and sets off for the camp, completely unaware that he is about to walk into a defining moment in history. He arrives just as the armies are taking up their positions, with shouts echoing from both sides. David finds his brothers, and as he's talking with them, the ground seems to tremble. Goliath emerges once again, bellowing his usual challenge. David hears the giant's arrogant words. He sees the terror in the eyes of the Israelite soldiers. But while they see an unbeatable giant, David sees something else entirely, an enemy defying the armies of the living God. A fire ignites within him. He turns to the men standing near him and asks, "What will be done for the man who kills this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" The soldiers tell him about the reward King Saul has promised: great wealth, a king's daughter in marriage, and a tax exemption for his family. But David's motivation runs deeper than any earthly reward. His oldest brother, Eliab, overhears him and becomes angry. He scolds David, accusing him of being conceited and neglecting his duties with the sheep just to watch a battle. But David's resolve is unshaken. He simply replies, "What have I done now? Can't I even speak?" He continues to ask around, his questions filled with a righteous indignation that soon catches the attention of others. Word of this brave young man, who is unafraid of the giant, quickly spreads through the camp and reaches King Saul himself. The king summons David. When the young shepherd stands before him, he speaks with a confidence that startles everyone. "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine," David declares. "Your servant will go and fight him." Saul looks at David, a youth, ruddy and handsome, with no military training, and then thinks of Goliath, a warrior from his youth. "You are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him," Saul says, his voice heavy with doubt. "You are only a young man, and he has been a warrior from his youth." But David has an answer ready. He isn't a soldier, but he is a protector. He tells Saul, "Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it. your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, because he has defied the armies of the living God, the Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion, and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." David's passionate testimony of faith moves Saul. Seeing the unshakable conviction in the young man's eyes, the king finally agrees. "Go," he says, "and the Lord be with you." In an attempt to help, Saul tries to outfit David in his own royal armor. He places a bronze helmet on David's head and clothes him in a coat of mail. David fastens the king's sword over it and tries to walk, but he can't. He's never worn such things before. The heavy, cumbersome gear feels unnatural. It's not his. He turns to Saul and says, "I cannot go in these, because I am not used to them." So he takes them all off. Instead of relying on the tools of a king, David decides to rely on the tools he knows and the God he trusts. He walks to a nearby stream, a place of simple natural resources. He picks up his shepherd's staff, the one he's used countless times to guide his flock. Then he carefully chooses 5 smooth stones from the stream bed and places them in the pouch of his shepherd as bag. With his sling in his hand, a simple weapon, yet one he has mastered through years of practice protecting his sheep, he approaches the Philistine. Goliath sees the young boy walking toward him, armed with nothing but a staff and a sling. He is insulted. The Philistine champion, the terror of armies, is being challenged by a boy who looks like he should be herding sheep, not fighting wars. "Am I a dog," Goliath sneers, "that you come at me with sticks?" He curses David by his gods, his voice dripping with contempt. "Come here," he bellows, "and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." The entire Philistine army likely laughs at the ridiculous sight. But David is not intimidated. His response rings out across the valley, clear and strong, a declaration not of his own strength, but of God's. "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin," David shouts, "but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head. This very day I will give the carcasses of the Philistine army to the birds and the wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves. For the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands." With that, the final confrontation begins. Goliath moves forward, his heavy footsteps shaking the ground. But David doesn't hesitate. He runs quickly toward the battle line to meet him. As he runs, he reaches into his bag, takes out a single stone, and places it in his sling. He begins to whirl the sling faster and faster, building momentum. The air whistles. He takes aim, not at the giant's impenetrable armor, but at the one small, vulnerable spot, his forehead. He releases the stone. It flies through the air, a tiny projectile against a colossal target, guided by an unseen hand. The stone strikes Goliath squarely on the forehead, sinking deep into his skull. The giant stumbles. His eyes go blank. And then, with a deafening crash that silences the entire valley, the mighty Goliath falls face down on the ground. It happened in an instant. The unbeatable champion was defeated, not by a sword or a spear, but by a shepherd boy with a sling and a stone, powered by an unwavering faith. David runs and stands over the fallen giant. Since he has no sword of his own, he draws Goliath's massive sword from its sheath. With a final decisive act, he ends the giant's life and cuts off his head, holding it up for all to see. When the Philistines see their champion is dead, their arrogance turns to sheer panic. They break ranks and flee in terror. A mighty victory shout erupts from the Israelite camp. They surge forward, pursuing the terrified Philistines and winning a great victory that day. The young shepherd boy who arrived at the camp merely as a delivery boy returns a hero. He showed everyone that courage isn't about the size of the soldier, but the size of their faith. He proved that when you face your giants with trust in something greater than yourself, the impossible can become possible. This incredible story has echoed through millennia, reminding us that no challenge is too big when you have faith and courage. Thanks for watching. If you were inspired by this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more amazing content. See you next time